I know you guys see all these early 2000s Mazdas rusting from basically the inside out and pretty much being one punch away from the entire subframe falling apart. But hear me out! Some of these are insanely cool, and this is possibly the most underrated and, in my opinion, my #1 pick for which Mazdaspeed model I'd want to own. And this car, ladies and gentlemen, is the Mazdaspeed Protege. This is definitely not your standard Protege, and honestly, most of those rusty Mazdas you've probably seen are just regular Proteges or Mazda 3s, as these Mazdaspeed Proteges were very low in production numbers. Gathering some info from the Mazda 247 forums, we can see that specifically there was 6 total colors chosen for the car, with a total of 4,500 cars believed to be made for the US and Canada combined. So we have 2 colors technically for the 2003 model year, and those are spicy orange with 600 units made and black with 1,150 units made. I've always been super fond of this spicy orange. When I think of the Mazdaspeed Protege, I always just think of that spicy orange. For the mid-model year cars considered 2003.5 cars, these came in the other 4 colors, these being titanium gray metallic with 1,100 units, blazing yellow mica with 500 units, laser blue with 650 units, and finally sunlight silver metallic with 500 units. These 2003.5 cars had slightly darker rims, slight differences to the interior, and a different body kit on the exterior. Powering this monster of a Mazda Protege was a 2-liter FSDET turbocharged engine cranking out 170 horsepower and 160 foot-pounds of torque, and only could be optioned with a 5-speed manual transmission. Done the right way, Mazda. Very solid numbers for its time, and honestly, even today, this sounds like a fun car to do some lively driving in. Other upgrades from the stock Protege include a suspension upgrade, larger disc brakes all around, and an 8-inch subwoofer attached to a Kenwood stereo and amp. To be honest, I can do without the speakers. I don't really know what speakers have to do with a performance upgrade, but at the same time, I guess it's nice to have. To make things even better, this transmission is technically the same as the standard Protege, but Mazda knew what they were doing and chucked in a limited slip differential in there, because honestly, back then, brands just knew what to do when trying to build an enthusiast-driven car. The Mazdaspeed Protege dashes from 0 to 60 in a solid 6.9 seconds, and while doing that, you'll be pleased with the addition of Sparco pedals and a Sparco shifter. Personally, I don't know what's not to like about this car. It's light at only around 2,850 pounds. It has a peppy turbocharged engine. It's an uncommon car, and Mazda really put this car out there for us collectors and enthusiasts. It's very similar to something like an Acura CL Type S 6-speed manual. It's got that cult following, except it's just a Mazda. That's how I look at it, to me, you know. I am a fan of the Mazdaspeed 6 and the Mazdaspeed 3, but in comparison, the Protege just has more charm to it. Yes, it won't make the power of those cars, but I just feel like taking this car through the mountains or to a track day would just be more enjoyable. Just like Honda and Toyota, Mazda 2 was making cool cars back in the early 2000s, unlike nowadays where all they have to show for it is really the Miata. I wish Mazda went back to their roots, and recently with the showing of that rotary concept, maybe there is one last hurrah for Mazda to be had. Let me know your thoughts down below on the Mazdaspeed Protege. Do you remember this car when it was coming out? Did you know someone that had this car? I know the owners of these cars seem to really appreciate them, just like us CLS6 owners might. I would love to hear your stories down below. As always, if you enjoyed this short video, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys for an amazing 2023, and I hope we can do even more things in 2024. I'll see y'all in the next one. Thank you for watching, and peace.
You wanna